Hello students, let's talk about completing the square. So if you remember perfect square trinomials, we're going to complete them with the correct missing number. Now we can put any number we want right here, but we want to put the number that makes it a perfect square. So here's how you do that. You take the b value, you remember the b value, it's always connected to the x value. So there's a b value, there's a b value, there's one, and there's one. You take it and divide by 2, and then you square it. So if you take 4 and divide by 2, you get 2. If you square 2, you get a 4. So you would complete this square by adding a 4 in the end. Okay. How would you complete this square? Easy. Take the 6, divide by 2. That gives you 3. You square it, and that makes a 9. There you go. Square completed. You take the negative 8, you divide by 2. That makes a negative 4. Now be careful. You need to square negatives carefully. That's going to make a positive 16. Spoiler, friends, you always add to complete the square. It's always plus. It's always plus. It's always positive. So if you ever add by a negative, you're doing it wrong. 5 squared is 25. Okay, cool. So we're going to add a 25. There we go. That's it. That's how you complete a square. You might still be confused. What do you mean square? What's going on here? This used to be a perfect square. It was just missing something. So an x squared plus a 4x. I should have drawn this bigger. I'm going to take it back. There you go. I'm going to make it a little bigger here. This used to be a perfect square. Sorry, this is a perfect square. Perfect square has the same length on both sides. So x squared plus 4x is not a perfect square. When you add a 4, now it's a perfect square. Why is this a perfect square? Because this used to be x plus 2 times, we'll do it on this side, x plus 2. X plus 2 times x plus 2 makes x squared plus 4x plus 4. So this whole thing used to be x plus 2 squared. Because this is kind of the whole goal of completing the square, is you want to rewrite it as a perfect square binomial. So x plus 2 squared looks like this when you square it. And then when you reverse it, it looks back like this. It looks like this again. Excuse me. Reverse what you've done. So the trick is, whatever number that you divide by 2, whatever number you get when you divide by 2, that's going to be the number that goes into your perfect binomial. So this is going to be x plus 3 squared, okay? Again, what are you talking about, Mr. K? That doesn't make any sense. Well, not too long ago in the last chapter, you used to take x and 3 times x and 3, and you get an x squared, a 3x, another 3x, and then a 9. This right here, this part, let me highlight it, okay? This part is these parts, but this part is missing. That 9 is missing, so you had to find it. That's what completing the square is. Okay, you're missing the number that goes in that bottom right corner. Like if you were to do this one, you would miss the 4. The 4 goes in the bottom right corner. 2 times 2 makes a 4. So you're missing that number. So it's your job to find it, and it's really easy to find. You just do b divided by 2 squared. So that's what you're trying to do. Just complete the square. This used to be x minus 4 squared. Okay, you would do all the math, and negative 4 times negative 4 makes a 16. There it is, squared. So again, you're finding out this number that would go in the bottom right corner if you were to FOIL it, these binomials. So complete it, turn it back into a binomial, and then you win. All right, so that's the whole goal of completing the square, is actually completing the square and then rewriting it as a binomial. This is the end game right here. You want to write it like this. You want to write it like this. That's, sorry, that kind of lagged a little bit. Sorry. You want to write it like this. So let's do some ones that are a little bit tougher, like odds. Oh no, what if they're odd? No big deal. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. So you can kind of cheat a little bit. You know it's already going to be x plus 2.5 squared. But when you actually square 2.5, I think you get 6.25. So yeah, friends, if your b value is odd, you're going to get a decimal when you divide by 2, which means your square is also going to be a decimal. So don't worry about it. It's not too bad, just a number. All right, so we have 12.5. So remember this number, you can square it to complete it, but you can also use it to make your binomial. There you go. 12 squared, I think it's 156.25. Let me double check. I don't have it written down and I don't have it memorized. I don't really take halves and power them too much in my free time. Yes, 156.25, we could say. Okay, and then like, what's this? Oh, that's right, there's a negative 1 there. Okay, negative 1 divided by 2 is negative 0.5. So this is going to be x minus 0.5. And then if I square that, careful, make sure you square everything in brackets, especially if it's a negative. I'll get 0.25. Ooh, 40, that's a big number. Divided by 2 equals 20. 20 squared is 400. And this would be x plus 20. Okay, cool. That's it. That's how you complete the square. You take the b value, divide by 2, square it. And then once you complete it, you can rewrite it. Complete it, rewrite it, complete it, rewrite it, complete it, rewrite it. Because again, the whole goal is to get that thing to look like a binomial squared again. We'll find out why in the next video. All right, cool. See you in class.